Sorry, it's what Jim, and it's to a new video for my YouTube channel, which is doing a TV show review, and I'll be doing it for Loki. I've been wanting to do these type of videos for a while. I was going to do it for The Mandalorian Season 2, but I never really just gave it too much thought that maybe I should do show reviews for my channel and do videos to do with shows that interest me. And I thought, why don't I do it? There was a YouTuber who commented on one of my videos saying that he would like to see me do one for What If, which I'm going to do for that. And I thought, well, may as well do it for Loki. I think, just finished episode 4 at the time. I had episode 5 and 6 of Loki to go. And now I finished watching Loki, so we could do a spoiler review for it. Now, as this is a spoiler review, there will be spoilers I'll be talking about. So if you've not seen Loki or not got to the finale yet, it's up to you whether you want to watch this video, but it will contain spoilers, so you have been warned. And I did enjoy the show for the most part, but we'll go through what I thought about it. But we're going to be doing it in a different format. I thought we'll do it a bit different for a change, and we're just going to be talking about a specific category of that show and just talk about what worked with it and what didn't. So we'll start off with the story for Loki. So for me, the story I really did enjoy. I enjoyed learning about the TVA, the Time Variance Authority, but I felt like the further in the episodes got, a bit more confusing it got, but I felt like episode 5 and 6, I didn't feel like with that confusing, but as I think especially episode 4, I just felt like they just had a lot of exposition, and it just made it very slow for quite a few of the episodes. I also just found the story a bit confusing in parts, but I understand it now. And I think the story was very good. They probably could have written it better, and it could have been a better story overall. But what we did get wasn't bad. I still thought it was quite a good story. But the way it ended with season 1 was on a cliffhanger, and they were going to make 12, but because of COVID, they only did 6. And I'm just not a biggest fan of the way the season ended. I would be fine if that was how the episode ended, but not how the whole season ended. It just ended on a sour note for me, but it is making me looking forward to season 2 a lot more than I thought I was. And I'm looking forward to seeing what season 2 is going to have to offer. I'm looking forward to doing a review for that one as well. But that's all I'm going to mention for the story of Loki. I want to also talk about I had a really enjoyable time watching it. There were a lot of moments I had a smile on my face. I definitely was looking forward to the next episode, and it was just very fun to watch. And would I watch it again? Who knows? I probably might watch it again, but we'll talk more about that when we get to would I watch the show again. I also really enjoy the characters as well, mainly Tom Hiddleston as Loki. He was just a scene stealer with all the scenes he was in. I mean, it is his show after all, and I think Tom Hiddleston, he does a brilliant performance as Loki. He's one of my favourite characters of the MCU already, but now he's definitely one of my favourites after the show. He's definitely in my top 5 for sure. I also really enjoyed Sylvie, and I thought she was a great companion to Loki, and I thought that the actress playing her did a very good job. And there were other standouts as well. I enjoyed Owen Wilson as Mobius. He was quite funny in some of the scenes that he was in. I also enjoyed the other characters as well. I enjoyed the other variants of Loki. I thought they were done very well. I also really liked was it the crocodile or was the alligator version of Loki? I really enjoyed that version of him as well. There are some side characters I did really enjoy. And I thought the villain in the final episode was quite intriguing. I don't think he was anything amazing, but I did think he was quite a good villain, and I wanted to know a lot more about him. And that's all we're going to say for the characters. Now I'll move on to the action. So as far as the action is concerned, a lot of it is more just dialogue and exposition. There's not that much action, especially in the earlier episodes, but as the episodes progress, there's more action that appears in the series, and the action that we do get isn't anything extraordinary or anything, but it still was very enjoyable action and definitely put you on the edge of your seat. I thought the action was done very well. I also thought it was quite funny as well. I knew it was going to be funny. I mean, it's never serious when Loki's around, especially with Owen Wilson as well. It was just very funny. It was as funny as I was expecting. There's not many jokes I can remember now, but definitely, I think most of the jokes that landed for me were with Loki and Mobius together. I thought they had a great relationship, and I wanted more of their relationship in the whole series. Um, I've not mentioned here about the relationships of the characters, but I thought pretty much all the relationships in the show were done very, very well. I also like I just mentioned about the villain, but there were sort of a few villains, antagonistic characters in the Loki show, but there's not that many like main villains, and I think that's the problem with the other Disney Plus Marvel shows. Is I think they just introduced too many villains. I thought this had a very good amount of them. I also thought that the music slash score for the show really just went well with it. It went well with all the scenes that they appeared in, and I won't just go ahead and just listen to it on its own. It wasn't that catchy or anything, but it still just made the scenes a whole lot better for me. And also, I thought the length for each episode and the season as a whole was pretty good. I mean, 6 episodes, maybe a couple more would have been nice, but because of COVID, I can understand why they couldn't do any more episodes. But I thought each episode ranged from about like 35 to about 50 minutes, which is a very good length for one of those Marvel shows. And that's really all I'm gonna say there. And overall, I did really enjoy Loki. It did have its flaws. It could have been written better. The characters, some of them could have been slightly better. They could have made it a bit less confusing, but I am looking forward to season 2. And would I watch it again? And yeah, I probably would watch it again. Not anytime soon, but I probably would watch it in anticipation for season 2. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. And now we're going to rank all the episodes from my number 6 being my least favourite, and my number 1 to, of course, being my favourite. Now, this is my own opinion with them. If you want, you can let me know yours in the comment section below. But number 6, I have episode 4, which I would give a 7 out of 10. The first half I just thought was just okay, but the last half I did really enjoy it, and I did like the final few minutes of it as well. I thought was pretty cool, but overall, it's just an episode I probably think about the least. It's one that's just made the least impact on me. If you enjoyed the episode, that's great. I still had a good time with it. It's just not an amazing episode for me. And number 5, I have episode 1, which I would rate a 7 out of 10. I thought it was slightly better, just because I think the beginning of the episode, it did begin on the high for me, and I did really enjoy the first episode. It just wasn't anything that amazing. I did think it was better than episode 4, though. Number 4, I have episode 6, the final episode of season 1, and I had a very good time with this episode. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. It did improve on the problems I had with the other ones. There still were a few other problems, though. It still had the problem of there being too much exposition, and I was a bit underwhelmed with the villain. I was expecting the villain to be just having a bit more of a personality. I'd still liked him, I was still intrigued by him, but it wasn't like an amazing villain, and I was sort of expecting that. And also, I felt like it could have ended better. But overall, I do think it is better than those other 2 episodes. The action was quite enjoyable, but as it stands, that's where it is at the moment. And number 3, I would give a 7.5 out of 10, is episode 2. I had a very good time with episode 2, and it was just better. I just thought it was better than all those other episodes, and it's probably one I'm going to watch more than those ones. It still did have that was just my iPad pen dropping. It still did have its flaws. It was still quite good though. It wasn't anything great, but I still did think it was a 7.5 worthy episode. And now I'll move on to my number 2 being episode 3, which I would rate an 8 out of 10. I thought that was a great episode. For the first half, I thought, yeah, 7.5. It's still my favourite though. And then I gave it an 8, and it was my favourite until my number 1 came along. Until episode 5 came along, which is my favourite, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. But I did really enjoy episode 3. I thought that the location was quite interesting. The action was done very well, and it was the episode where Loki and Sylvie sort of had their great chemistry together. Because they met basically towards the end of episode 2. They didn't have much of a chemistry there, but in episode 3 they definitely did, and I really enjoyed their relationship together. And my number 1 is an episode I would rate probably a 9 out of 10, and that's episode 5. I really enjoyed all the other Lokis, especially the crocodile alligator Loki. I mentioned that earlier in this review. I really enjoyed that character. I just thought he was quite funny, and quite cool looking. Um, I also just enjoyed the whole episode, really. I thought it was paced very well. I thought the story wasn't all over the place. I thought it was a near perfect episode. The relationships were great. Mobius, Sylvie, and Loki, all three of them were in that episode. And I felt like all the characters had their time to shine in the episode. From beginning to end, I had a smile on my face. I absolutely loved the episode, and I thought it was near perfect. It was an amazing episode. And like I said, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And that's my favourite. And that's all I'm going to say for the review of Loki. And what would I rate the overall show out of 10? Probably a 7.5. I'm also going to rank all the Marvel shows, which I actually will do now as well. This is my least favourite. Number 3 is Loki, which I would give this one, like I just said, a 7.5. I thought it was a very solid, a very good series. And number 2, I would say, is Falcon and Winter Soldier. I was expecting that to be my favourite. I will do a review for Falcon and Winter Soldier just like this Loki one. And I'd give that an 8 out of 10. And number 1, the one I was the most sceptical about, is WandaVision. That's actually my favourite. I absolutely love that one. I'd give that season an 8. I'd give that series an 8.5 out of 10. And that's my favourite Marvel series so far. I'm looking forward to the next Marvel series in Disney Plus, which is What If, and let me know if you're looking forward to that as well. That looks quite interesting. I've done a review for that. Not done a review, I've done a trailer reaction for that, so you can go ahead and watch that if you want. This video has been doing a lot longer than I was expecting it to be, so we'll end it now. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what your favourite episode of Loki was. Let me know what your favourite Disney Plus show is in general, and Marvel Disney Plus show as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Excelsior, ciao, and nuff said.